Oh, he's making enraptured, Captain. An aphrodisiac. Wrapped musk is the main ingredient.
Playing through the Outer Worlds is like finally scratching an itch you never knew existed before. A Fallout-esque RPG from the series' original creators, a totally new IP set in a wacky space universe. Better yet, there's not one element of online connection or any microtransactions required. An RPG filled with such personality that also doubles down on so many old school genre sensibilities also almost seems too good to be true, especially in today's gaming landscape. And while the Outer Worlds may have already released late last year on other platforms, this zany journey into the intergalactic expanse is still a blast on Nintendo Switch, providing you can stomach some drastic visual concessions. I'm Aaron from Console Deals, now let's get into why. The Outer Worlds begins, quite literally, with a crash, bang and a wallop. After a brief stint creating your custom character and a meeting of sorts with your maker, you unexpectedly crash down on the planet of Terra 2 where adventure awaits. It isn't long, however, before you realise that this isn't a persistent open world in the traditional sense, but rather a tutorial hub area designed to educate you on the game's many gameplay systems and quirks. Your first main questline to route power back to the citizens of Edgewater does this brilliantly, and before long you're using your character's dialogue skills to negotiate terms, buddying up with charismatic companions, and making choices that affect the world and people around you. The latter is a trait synonymous with some of the best Western RPGs ever made, and luckily Obsidian Entertainment gets to utilise its experience developing the likes of Knights of the Old Republic 2 and Fallout New Vegas to great effect. The Outer Worlds might not be as sprawling as either of those games, but what it lacks in quantity it more than makes up for in quality. You can feel a sense of satirical capitalism bleeding out of every aspect of the star-studded Halcyon system, whether it's in the way certain NPCs will repeatedly recite corporate slogans, or how your main point of trade is a glitzy vending machine. Such satire in games is tricky to pull off anyway, but the Outer Worlds' dark sense of humour rides the line perfectly. In terms of the game's basic flow, those familiar with Fallout will have some idea of what to expect. You'll explore various varied regions, taking on quests that force you to make hard decisions while continually upgrading and enhancing your character with better traits. You may choose to build yours as an aggressive type, pouring points into ranged and melee weapon proficiencies each time you level up to make yourself a tank in battle. Alternatively though, you might wish to play it tactically, improving your hacking and leadership skills so you can approach tense situations with a softer touch. The Outer Worlds is a highly flexible role-playing experience in this way, boasting a setup that works great for repeat playthroughs. Missions and quest lines might always stay the same, sure, but almost all of them feature multiple pathways that lead to different outcomes that are worth seeing. The game itself is surprisingly conservative for an RPG, only clocking in at around 15 hours to complete, so if you do want more bang for your buck, there are plenty of reasons to return and extend that time using a different character build. Speaking of which, and the roster of companions able to join you really is one of the best things that Outer Worlds has going for it. There are 6 in total available to recruit, with most dished out relatively early to you in the campaign. Each of them boasts their own area of expertise that comes in handy when you need to buff your own stats as well. Vicar Max, for example, is one of the first people you meet, and an expert hacker that makes it easier to tackle blocked off passageways and read protected terminals. Then you have someone like the Hulk-busting Sam, who is a modified cleaning mech that works well when wanting to take enemies out from a distance. Imbuing each companion with a distinct personality would have been enough to make having them tag along with you worthwhile, but the fact that all can bolster your capabilities in this way is much appreciated. Improved again by every companion having a combat ability that will trigger a cinematic maneuver during tough skirmishes. Up to 2 companions can join you at any one time, and if you complete their dedicated questline, their combat ability will be buffed again to make them more dominant in enemy battles. In terms of your own character, the ability to slow down time temporarily to target specific body parts helps to take the edge off of the Outer Worlds' fairly ho-hum gunplay. It works, it's functional, but it's not as tight as it could have been. Of course, you'll know all this already if you checked out The Outer Worlds on PS4, Xbox One or PC when it first released. However, many have been curious since its original announcement just how the Nintendo Switch version will both look and feel to play. Well, we know now, and it is unfortunately quite a rough ride. Environments lack detail, load times between areas are long, and sometimes when just generally traversing the world you'll be hit by a buffering icon so that the section up ahead has time to render. All this isn't to say that The Outer Worlds on Nintendo Switch isn't totally unplayable, just that there aren't many reasons, outside of playing on the go, for someone who has played it already to dive back in, especially when you consider that it's available incredibly cheaply on Xbox One via a Game Pass subscription. Compared to that version, the visual concessions here are significant, yes, but if this is the only way you can experience one of the best Western RPGs of recent years, it does get the job done. The Witcher 3 Switch port last year proved that getting contemporary games running on the system was a challenge. As such, in many ways, The Outer Worlds on Nintendo Switch is a similar situation. Despite its graphical woes, however, The Outer Worlds on Nintendo Switch succeeds at being a pulpy yet satirical space adventure of the best kind, full of humour and personality that's not all that indicative of many AAA RPGs you tend to see these days. Combat might also be relatively basic, but when it comes to imaginative world building, enigmatic characters and varied mission design, The Outer Worlds doesn't let you down. Time to buckle up, Captain, because this is one space western that shouldn't be missed, regardless of the platform you intend to play it on. We give The Outer Worlds on Nintendo Switch a 3 out of 5.
I'm counting on it.